The playoffs have arrived here at DreamHack Open 4 and a battle of the gods to start off our day. Quite literally, as world number one's Astralis will be taking on Godsent in our opening clash. With that comes a lot on the line for our 12 remaining teams. So let's remind ourselves of exactly what is on the line for our teams. Of course, it's not one, not two, but 3 tournaments that this will be feeding into. Of course, first, the all-important EU RMR. Of course, we have these all-important RMR points on the line, and we can take a look at the current standings from the previous RMRs coming into this one. Of course, Vitality is standing strong at the top of the leaderboard, and teams will be earning points here as part of the RMR event to be leading into the major when it eventually does happen. Of course, teams will be earning an increased number of points depending on, from previous RMR events, because we want to keep the standings the most up to date as possible. Coming up next, of course, our road to Katowice, where teams will be earning points at this event as part of the EPT. DreamHack Open 4 will provide 100% points value for the next EPT Masters Championship in Katowice, then 50% value for the next championship in Cologne in 2021. And last, but by no means least, the final tournament on the line is the IEM Global Challenge. Alongside taking home the lion's share of the prize money here at Open 4, the winner of this tournament will also claim a spot at this tournament later on in the year. But of course, before we get into this wonderful day of CS, we've got a little bit of a surprise for you. We've thoroughly missed being in the arena during these times. We've decided to bring the arena to you. That's right, we've got our beautiful virtual arena for you guys to be joining us in all week long. Look at that. You can even see the players up there on the stage. And of course, your wonderful faces here in the crowd. Some absolutely spectacular stuff. I cannot wait to be seeing this throughout our games today. Of course, the only missing puzzle piece here is my wonderful panel of experts. Christine and Blair here to be breaking everything down with me. Potter, it's playoff time. We've got our virtual arena now. I cannot be waiting to get into this one.
Me neither. This should be a spicy one. Now, I know on paper, I can't get over that arena, by the way. It's been upgraded since DreamHack Summer. The seating arrangements, the little figures, it's all been upgraded a bit. I'm liking it, but yeah, Astralis versus Godsent. We're starting off this morning with I guess a David and Goliath sort of situation here. Godsent, they have been on the up and up, but you know, throughout this entire year, they've had some upsets against the big top dogs and like Fnatic, sometimes versus G2, making it very close, but they haven't quite yet established themselves as an upset sort of team. But this is their moment. This is their time. I mean, who better to prove their point than versus Astralis, the number 1 team in the world?
Exactly, indeed. Of course, we can take a look at our playoff bracket that's going to be happening over the course of this week. Of course, we've got Astralis versus Godsent to be kicking things off here. Then we're going to be going into North versus Fnatic. Big versus G2 will be rounding off our day here at DreamHack Open 4. But of course, we'll be opening tomorrow with Vitality versus NIP. Of course, the loser of this will be going down into that lower bracket to face the likes of Sprout, Heroic, OG, and of course, FaZe. I think looking at this player, one big surprise might be seeing FaZe in that lower bracket already.
Yeah, it is the way it is, right? You look at those groups and it's going to be very hotly contested. FaZe, considering they were in, I think they were in Group C, if I'm not mistaken. Them getting knocked down is a bit of a surprise. Obviously, losing out to Godsent, that's going to lead to it. What's worrying for me for teams like a Godsent is you lose. Imagine you lose against Astralis. You're going to go down. It's not going to get any easier. Look at the names there. You have Heroic, you got OG, you have FaZe even. So it's never going to be easy. And even though they're going to be facing off against number 1 team in the world right now, they need to be going for the win, as unlikely as that might seem.
Yeah, so let's continue to talk about this match we have at hand. I know we were talking about it a bit in the, before we came on air here, Blair, but the map veto for this one, it's a little bit confusing, you know, Godsent having some of their favorite maps, also being some of the favorite maps of Astralis. So where are you siding for this one?
This is one of the hard ones. If you're Crystal, if you're Devil Walk, you're like, okay, where do we go with this one, right? Because Mirage is going to be banned out by Astralis. I don't think they're going to take any chances with that, which is a good thing for Godsent, because Godsent do like banning out Mirage or it does too. Now, where do you go? I mean, this is so hard. Nuke is your best map. It's a map you want to pick. Against Astralis, I don't know about you, Potter, but I'm envisioning a world where Mirage and Dust2 get banned out here by Astralis and Godsent, and I'm expecting Train to get picked by by Astralis, an overpass coming out from Godsent, and maybe Nuke is the decider, unless Godsent want to just kind of throw in a Vertigo in the mix.
I think that makes sense, but I'm gonna go with Astralis sticking to their guns, Nuke, just because they picked it every single time over a month, except versus Heroic, which is kind of a pattern that I've... Okay, so Astralis go with Nuke and Inferno for Godsent. Now, this is interesting because this is an exact rematch as we just saw Godsent versus FaZe, where they knocked FaZe down into that lower bracket. It was Inferno, and then it was Nuke. So definitely Godsent, very familiar with these two maps.
Yeah, and in Vertigo's Decider, I'm not too surprised, or actually expected Godsent to maybe pick it up earlier on, and it's a map that Astralis is going to be very comfortable playing. I don't know about Inferno. Nuke, I guess Godsent is going to be happy here, Freya. I mean, it's a map that they would have liked picking anyway, so they're going to play to their strengths. I also like Astralis not really trying to kind of reinvent everything and be like, oh, we're going to try Vertigo against these guys. No, this is probably one of the weakest teams you're going to be playing in this tournament, and you just want to stamp it out on your most comfortable map, so to speak.
Yeah, and I think we can start off the conversation by talking a little bit more in depth about our first map, which will be Inferno here. And this is an interesting one, Posse, because, you know, we've seen these teams obviously playing it quite a lot. Godsent siding with that slightly higher win rate there, but that doesn't mean that Astralis haven't been really showing their form on this map.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Inferno is a go-to as well for Astralis, and it's exactly like you said, Freya. Both of these squads have very similar map pools. There wasn't a lot of wiggle room, especially for the Godsent side of things coming into this veto. Inferno, I like it. You know, they had a 10-round run on their T side of things versus FaZe. So definitely for Godsent, they're looking at their T side, across both of these maps, to have that strong start, to dictate the pace, and to frag and trade it out, because that's kind of Godsent's strength, is that pack mentality and creating chaos all together in one area of the map. So definitely Godsent, I'm looking at their T side to have that strong start here.
And of course, we want to hear what you guys down in Twitch chat are saying. If you're siding with Astralis, make sure to put hashtag ASTR in the chat. Or if you're looking at the Godsent side of life, put hashtag Gods in the chat. I love that hashtag there. Full force for Godsent in this one. But of course, we need to check in with the other side of the server. It's going to be Astralis. And Frankie had a chance to chat with Magisk before this one.
I'm joined by Magisk, who is still the primary in-game leader of Astralis, despite Glaive returning. Magisk, were you surprised that you are remaining in this role despite Lucas's return?
No, I mean, we have been talking about it, and at the moment it feels like we have a good understanding of when to give each other room. So today he was doing some calls as well, and that worked really well. So sometimes, I mean, primarily it's me calling from the beginning of the rounds, but sometimes Glaive, he comes up with mid-round calls if he feel like he has a read, and sometimes I give him the power to do it, and sometimes I follow my own plan. But I think we have a good understanding of how to work with each other and how to give each other room to do calls. So I think it's going really well right now.
Well, good luck in the playoffs, Magisk, because I mean, you've set a pretty strong foundation in the group stage.
Well, I hope we can continue it, that's for sure.
Wonderful words there from Magisk to kickstart our day here at DreamHack Openfall. And an interesting point that we were just picking up on, Posse. We weren't too aware that Magisk was actually being that primary in-game leader at the moment. And imagine having Glaive as your secondary in that. That's just unbelievable.
That is, that's a lot of options. If I'm Astralis right now, I'm honestly happy. You know, having Glaive as a backup caller, I mean, come on. Yeah. That's insane. That's a flex. And Astralis, I mean, that's the beauty of Astralis. They were the first to bring out this whole 7-man roster, S-Attack being incorporated so quickly and finding so much success so fast. Now, I have to say, for this Nuke coming out as their pick, one interesting thing that I noticed is that although I said they've been picking Nuke every time into their series for over a month, except versus Heroic. They lost to Heroic in one of the series about 2 series ago, and since then they've been kind of veering away from that. So I don't know if that's Magisk's call or if that's Zonics call or Glaive's call, but either way, if I'm Godsent, I'm looking back at that demo and I'm studying exactly all the right things that Heroic did to ensure a victory here.
Yeah, I do want to start off just by mentioning Inferno as our first map. And it's the map that we've seen Magisk, having a lot of success on. Him and Dupreeh, Blair, have really been the difference makers in some of the previous series that we've seen at the Saramar event.
For me, it has to be Dupreeh. Like, Magisk obviously had his moments, Device chiming in as well, but Dupreeh has just been so honed in this entire tournament, right? We've only had 2 best-of-3s played against Heroic and G2, but every time they've won, even some of the closer games, it's been him stepping up. He's looked almost untouchable at times. I feel he's going to be a very important player. And also another player we want to keep an eye on is Astralis. It's a swan song with this lineup, right? He's going to be heading over, joining, of course, Cloud9, the Juggernaut. No, not the Juggernaut. The Colossus, of course. And he wants to end it on a good note. So I feel like he has a bit to prove as well. Not really prove, more like show off what he can really do before he jumps ship. So it's going to be interesting players, at least an interesting player for me to watch personally.
Yeah, and of course, over on the other side of the server, it's going to be Godsent. I think it's an interesting conversation when we're opening up about these guys because we saw them taking down FaZe to manage to cement that second place spot in their group. And Christine, what we were seeing from Godsent, particularly on Nuke, they looked incredibly well prepared. They had an amazing T-side, really good use of utility. So I'm wondering, what do you think they need to be continuing coming off of that win against FaZe?
It's got to be Madden, right? He had such an explosive series in that game that you're talking about, Freya, and he had clutch after clutch, multi-kill after multi-kill. And you know, Madden, he even busted out the op on save rounds while the rest of his teammates were working with scraps and was able to be the hero that Godsent needed. So definitely for Godsent's side of things, story as usual for Madden, and I'm also looking at Stiko, man. Stiko's ramp presence on the CT side of Nuke is something that's just, it's incredible, right? I mean, starting off from the pistols, there's highlights after highlights that I'm finding. And even in the last match that I watched, he's able to get a 3K on the CT pistol. So definitely Stiko, he's making a name for himself to be that ramp anchor that every team kind of wishes that they had on their squad.
Yeah, and I want to pick up on another player. We can see him in the middle of the roster here. It's Zen, because we got to speak to him after their win over FaZe. He was incredibly hyped. We could see it from the webcams during the game. He was saying to us, Blair, you know, he's the self-proclaimed hype man of this squad. So I feel like they're going to be needing that to continue their momentum coming into face Astralis, none other.
Oh yeah, you have to be hype playing against Astralis, right? You can't just take it easy. You can't be a pessimist going into this game, you know, saying, oh, we're facing the best team in the world. You know, we don't really stand a chance. Of course not. You have a chance. You always stand a chance. And yeah, looking at the maps, I gotta say, you know, there is a world where an upset can happen. It is very unlikely. I don't like being an optimist. I'm not an optimist like Potter. I'm a pretty terrible human being overall. But I feel like that they should be feeling pretty comfortable with the maps coming out here as long as they stick to the game plan. I still want them to kind of throw a curveball, be a little bit more unpredictable, make Astralis sweat a little bit, maybe start doubting themselves a little bit. I think that's going to be the win condition for the side of Godsent.
Well, with that, I think we can start talking about our predictions. Potter, where are you siding for this one?
I'm going to go with Astralis here. You kind of have to. I mean, it's Nuke and it's Inferno, but I do agree with Blair. I think the upset potential, it's glaring out at me on paper here. For Godsent's side of things, they've got to, as Blair mentioned, be that unpredictable factor. When I watched back on Heroic's demos and saw exactly how they were able to dominate Astralis, that was it. They didn't shy away from duels. They didn't play those passive angles. They got in Astralis' face. They didn't let them set up for any sort of a comfortable default, right? So that's what I'm looking at Godsent to do, is make Astralis uncomfortable.
Are you going to be echoing those same thoughts, Blair?
Yeah, I have to agree with Potter here. I think she's pretty much nailed every single point. I have to go with Astralis as well. They are the better team. They're the #1 team on the planet. You can't take that away from them. Godsent, they've been on kind of an upward trajectory. 21st place team overall, you know, on the HLTV rankings. But I gotta say, there is a world where they can make it pretty close. You know, we want to see some of those rounds coming up. Maybe take a page from the strat book of a Heroic, try and be a little bit more aggressive on the CD side, which is exactly what we saw against FaZe. We saw that Ace from Farley being aggressive with the AWP towards ramp. We want to see more of that coming out from these guys.
We do indeed. As much as I love an underdog story, I'm also going to be siding with Astralis for this one. But I was impressed with what I saw from Godsent versus FaZe. I do just think this is a different caliber of opponent. And with that, I think we can check in with our Twitch chat poll as well to see exactly where they're going to be siding. 75% with us, Christine. That ain't bad.
That ain't bad, and it makes sense, right? I mean, Godsent, they've got a lot of work ahead of them.
They have indeed. And I think with that, we can throw it to game #1 of the day. The underdogs of Godsent have already taken down FaZe here in the competition. But now, can they prove themselves against the mighty Danes? It's Astralis versus Godsent after this.
Welcome back to DreamHack Open 4. My name's Dinko, joined by Hawker, and we've got ourselves an incredible matchup coming onto the server. It's Astralis taking on Godsent to open up the playoffs, and this one is not going to be an easy battle for Godsent by any means.
No, Dinko, they may have been sent by the gods, but unfortunately, the Counter-Strike gods are Astralis, so they're going to have to do even better than their name suggests to get the win today. And starting on Inferno, this should be a fun one, because Godsent recently have been putting up some really good numbers on the T side of this map, and that's where they're going to be starting, Dinko.
Yeah, T-side for Godsent has been incredible. They have had a good performance on Inferno recently over FaZe Clan, and also against Big. They unfortunately lost out to what was a ridiculously close defuse, and a game that they will definitely try to put to the back of their head. So we head into the playoffs. Astralis taking on Godsent. They'll be on the CT side early on. And Dupreeh has been quite the incredible player so far for Astralis, the highest rated player in the tournament. Astralis had a bit of a slower start in a few of the individuals in their opening match, but starting to warm up into things against G2. And now Dupreeh with a chance to shut down a couple of players, but they've crossed by. They've sent 3 players in towards the balcony, and Godsent have got themselves some decent positions.
Madden's looking to sell this fake at B, just the P250 in hand, and he's going to sneak through. He's going to sneak in. Oh no, this man has a flash out, but Madden almost whiffs the kill. He just about gets it, keeps his cool, and now Astralis could be confused by this. Madden with a second kill onto the B site, but it's the A play about to come through.
Oh, it'll be 1 kill for Magisk. Crystal hitting the deck, and a man advantage put in place for Godsent, and quite a bit of control now as Astralis need to try and figure out what is happening. This attack into the A bomb site continues to run through. Dupreeh from Library trying to connect headshots, but it's Device who takes down Madden on the other side of the map. He can now come back and assist the rest of the team on towards this A site. A little bit of damage done from Farley from the pit. He'll just hide behind the wall. 30 seconds, that bomb's still not down. It's on the back of Farley, who needs to get on towards the site itself. And Astralis just sit back, and Magisk with the headshot. Suddenly, the advantage is back in favor of Astralis, and Zen and Sticko trying to make this round work. Bomb is down, Device still on the B bomb site. What a weird pistol round this is.
So strange. Device gets the kit, so that's going to help him on the retake attempt. Dupreeh still in the apartments, and both the Godsent players trapped on the bomb site. This could be a rough post plant for them. Long-range fights already coming through. Dupreeh can't connect. Sticko's still sitting in the back lines, but Zen's been dealt with. It's all on Sticko, and he gets domed. Dupreeh in the apartments nailing both of those shots. And even though Astralis looked like they were on the back foot there, they still win the round.
It definitely looked like they were on the back foot for most of that pistol round. The bomb just kind of gets trapped in the pit. This was a strange start to the round. Madden just kind of get a little bit lucky on the Esatog, and luckily Magisk taking that kill, that slows everything down for Godsent. It slowed everything right to a halt. The bomb couldn't get towards the site for a very long time, and Astralis, they win the pistol round. Godsent with a Galil out on Madden, a Mac 10 for Zen, and a couple of pistols for the rest. There's certainly a round that can do damage in, but Astralis looking to apply the pressure early. The smoke deploys down into middle, and Dupreeh will toss near G.
Astralis hold banana control early. That's not a problem for them in this round. Sticko slowly taking the apartment's control for Godsent. Force by, as you said, comes through for the Godsent side of things, and Device will get smoked off early. There's no one really aggressive on the short side of the map for Astralis. They're playing more back on the A bomb site, and that's going to prompt them to rotate a 4th player over to A. Astralis looking pretty well prepared for this A play right now. Godsent have just taken top mid control, smoke going down towards the site, and they're lining up this push.
Yeah, this will not be easy for Godsent to get anywhere near the site, but they have pulled 1 kill in their favor. Magisk who's gone down to the edge, and Glaive as well, swinging into the open. That allows an avenue of approach to the B bomb site. As they go through the archway, they'll attack CT spawn. Looking to pull themselves back. It's Esatog trying to get into position on time. But at Godsent have got so many players coming this way, and it's only an MP9 for Esatog to be a nuisance with. Crystal will be clearing the site. Zen is being left in Library to cut off the rotation. And now it's all on Esatog and Dupreeh, who are pulling this round back for Astralis. The kills have come through. It's now Zen and Sticko in a 2v2 clutch. And Dupreeh with it all to do, and he's won the round. 3 kills picked up for Astralis. And it's 2-0. unbelievable round yet again. That should have gone Godsent's way. They should have at least gone onto the site, got that bomb down. But Estetar getting back into position in time and Dupreeh helping him out.
Oh, and Godsent are going to go for it again. Another force buy after another close round. Dupreeh again stepping up for this Astralis squad, though, Dinko. He's been their best-rated player in this tournament. His form has been incredible. He had to step up alongside Estetar on the B site, and he is feeling it right now.
Yeah, this is a confident peek down second middle, but he needs to be careful. They have solid weapons, a couple of them with AK, so he needs to be careful here. As he peeks down, it's Farley with the headshot. Dupreeh hits the deck and now Device. Oh, the timing. He looks away and he still gets the kill. Sticko somehow fluffing his lines there. Device gets behind cover just in the nick of time. And he might just get another one here. That's the bomb down. Device absolutely destroying two players in the apartments, but it is still a 3 versus 3 thanks to that kill from Crystal.
I'm liking the early pace from Godsent. They're showing that they're not going to be scared in this game. They're willing to fight. And so far, they have turned this into a scrappy game, Dinko, which I think is all you can really ask for against Astralis. Just try and make it a scrappy game. And if you win those fights, you're going to have chances to win these rounds. And they've got another chance here. 3v3. Estetar alone on B, but he wins that first fight and gets back to safety.
Estetar's been doing quite well in this B hold. I mean, even in that last round when things looked rough, he was still able to hold on. So a good early sign for them. 33 seconds in play. Now Godsent, the last two players, about to test Estetar yet again. Smoke goes up, covers off his face. The flashbang to follow up in behind it. And Godsent, they don't have too much time. And Estetar will try to get the spam through the smoke, but they haven't made any noise. So there's no indication as to go for this. Here's the utility being used up. Ready to go through. Man advantage still with Astralis as Estetar going to try and deny the bomb plan. He's done it. And now there just isn't enough time to try and win this round. If he can get this bomb down, that's the goal. And as soon as he starts to plant it, Astralis can just run in behind him. And it's Glaive that gets the job done. The bomb plant, that's the best out of that situation he could have got. And Astralis are going to be up 3-0.
Yeah, I'm liking the calls so far from Godsent, but Astralis clearly not staying in bed early, right? They've woken up. Estetar looking good on that B site, looking sharp with some of these early kills. That's definitely a great sign for them. I really liked that second round call from Godsent, though, especially because they pushed in through CT and they kept a man in that sort of T-spawn area, right? They did really well to try and get those kills. Unfortunately, it goes against them. And now they've got to probably take a low buy ahead of this one. I assume... No. Oh, never mind. No. I assumed wrong. They've got AK.
Yeah. So that bomb plant, that secures so much extra cash for them. They don't really have the utility. Farley and Crystal are going to be the players carrying the most of it. And Farley's just gone down. I believe he was the player that had the most utility. And he's out of there.
Nice nade at least, but there aren't many more where that came from. Crystal, the only man with any utility, and the flash is so good for Estetar. 2 easy kills on Banana. And I think Godsent are going to finally have to bow out of this early force by war. Zen only gets 1 kill on the round. And finally, Astralis look to have kind of dealt with that early pressure that Godsent were putting on them.
No, I don't think they've had to bow out. I think Astralis have just kicked him out, Alex. There's nothing they could have done in that round. That was just a fantastic round from Astralis. And we're going to see why Godsent need a lot of utility when going up against the CT side. They had so many opportunities, Alex. I feel really bad for Godsent right now. They should have had at least 1 round, maybe 2 out of those first few. They had so many chances, but Astralis just edging it out. 4-0 lead. It's not the prettiest, but that last round was much better. It should be the same going into this next one. It should be 5-0 up for Astralis. And Godsent, you take a look at what they've got. It's a couple of pistols, a tiny bit of utility. It's enough to potentially stress out the defense a little bit.
Yeah, the thing that sucks for Godsent as well is if they just win one of those close rounds, it could change everything, right? It could completely cause Astralis to have to take a weaker buy, and then you can start to turn things around. But instead, Astralis win every single one of them. I really like the way Godsent are approaching this game early, though. They're putting the pressure on. They're willing to really try and fight their opponents. Glaive up close in this smoke. Has to be a little bit careful. Flash comes through. Glaive turns around. Somehow gets a second kill. Then gets sprayed. Oh, missed shot from Device. He nearly goes down. In fact, he does go down.
Yeah, that's expensive. And now Zen, 1 versus 3. He's got an M4 in hand. That's all about the damage he can do here. And Dupreeh catches him in a weird transition to the Tech 9. And it's 5-0 for Astralis. Missed shot there, a little bit unorthodox on device, but we'll not look too much into it. Everybody misses a shot every now and then. And Godsent going into round number 6. It'll be the AWP from Filer, the AK-47s as well, and the utility in play across the board on 5 players. Astralis, this is a round they just... If they win this, I start to really fear for Godsent. We've talked about how good their T-sides are. They've had so many opportunities to get off to a good start. And unfortunately, every single round has gone in favor of Astralis. If you're 6-0 down this quickly on your map pick, on the T side, which we say is your strength, you start to fear for them.
Well, this round, they have had the nades early, something they didn't have last time. And those nades have done damage.
Oh, no.
Tag and device done for. Great flash from Madden. Easy kill for Crystal. They've had some good utility usage from both teams at the start of this game. But this time, it's Godsent with a clean pick. Zen might give it away, though. Oh, no, he's got it. He's got it in the back. What a weird situation. Zen on the flank and another flank through CT spawn.
What is that? What's going on there? Dupreeh caught by the timing, and now Glave's turn to try and shine on the B bomb side. He's got one into Crystal, what pulls the Molotov, and Madden was already in an advanced position. Type tries to dive through the smoke, but the round is done. Astralis, they get caught off by everything. Finally, a little bit of luck going Godsent's way. Also, good utility usage, I have to say, from them. I don't know if you at home got to catch the Glaive podcast he did with the HLTV Confirmed, but he was discussing some of the differences within Counter-Strike at the moment. Is he feels like the opponents are much more aware of how they should be using their utility in a stronger fashion. You can see Astralis completely caught off guard by some of the utility usage there from Godsent. So, fantastic stuff. And I thank Astralis for this. I think we need a little pause here, Alex, just to catch our breath, so settle into this one with a fun fact.
Pretty good from Madden. Yeah, he has been having a good tournament. That's something the desk pointed out. He's been in form in this one. He's been Godsent's highest rated player for the tournament. You know, I was looking at the stats as well, Dinko, and he's actually, in the past, not been that good in games specifically against top 10 teams. He's kind of tapered off a little bit with his ratings. He's only the 4th highest rated player for Godsent when they play against top 10 teams, which is not really what I would expect from Madden, right? I'd expect him to be one of the stars of this squad. I think now he's getting a bit more experience. He's getting that under his belt. We're starting to see the confidence and those aggressive plays come through from him.
I think Madden was one of the best pickups, right? And Dupreeh is going to charge down Banana Zen, hitting the deck. Crystal picks up one for Godsent. Glaive barely alive, and he will get around the corner. That itchy grenade would have caught him, but he is gone. Back to the side itself. I've been loving some of these T-side setups. You can see how aware Godsent are right now. They always have a player in the midst on the other side of the map. This time it's Sticko catching out Device. And they've got potential to get kills across every part of this map right now. Magisk always boosted up the head. Spotted from Madden. That's an easy kill for Magisk. I thought Madden was going to be backing up and maybe spotting Magisk, but doesn't see him. That's just a very unfortunate situation for Madden. And well played from Magisk to just crouch and cascade the vision. And now Farley left alone into 1 versus 3. And this round is not going to be easy whatsoever. 50 seconds left. He does have the bomb. He'll be running up middle. The rotation has been made by Glaive. He's on the site. He's actually low in HP, so he's going to go to the balcony and try and get a better position to approach this. But with Farley getting up long, he has a couple of opportunities, a couple of options to take a couple of different approaches to this round. And he's committed to A, the time a limiting factor. He feels like this A bomb site could be good enough. Could be for a plant, but he goes too wide, and Glaive will spot him from the balcony. I think that's really well played from Glaive, knowing that he's low in HP, to take the cover of the apartments.
Early banana battles go the way of Astralis. Dupreeh getting the kill while blind, and then Glaive comes in for the follow-up. So again, the utility being an important factor on banana. Right now, Astralis seem to be finding success at holding that position.
Yeah.
I think watching this half play out, I'm interested to see if Godsent continue to try and go for those flanks through CT spawn, rather. They've been really putting an emphasis on that in some of these early rounds. And it's been working decently, Dinko. They're getting into CT spawn pretty often. So that could be something we see more from Godsent as this game goes on.
Yeah, the T-sides have been really solid in terms of their setups. They've got a little bit unlucky and haven't won as many rounds as they probably should have and could have. And now Godsent, they've got off to a pretty good start. It's Sticko. The man advantage picked up for them. Story of Sticko is on to marvel at, really. He's was looked at as a bit of a support player in his time at Mouse Sports. Has come into this team and has had some huge star performances for this team. Now Glaive with the aggression into Banana. He's got so much control, but he only gets the one kill. Too often do we see players who find themselves in that spot frag out for at least two. But luckily Godsent able to trade back after the one casualty. And now it's Estetik's turn, and through the smoke catches Crystal.
Molly goes down, but Godsent already on the site. Farley taking damage, though, as he crosses onto the site itself. Attack lining this up. Oh, he's nearly got it. Farley just about gets that bomb down. It's going to be a 3v3 post plant, and Godsent still have that CT smoke up for now.
What is Sam is so damn close. Estetik with a headshot. Sticko taking down through the stained glass window, and now it's all on Zed trying to win the round for Godsent, and it's not gonna happen. Magisk swings on by, and Astralis with a clinical retake. Estetik doing so much work, and Sticko, there's nothing he can do there. He takes the elevated position, and the bullets just come flying through the window at him. That is a fantastic round from Astralis yet again on the retake. Godsent, though, at least they find the site, but I'm starting to get worried now. Like, they're not finding these round wins. They're not getting it down even to the close clutches. It's Astralis coming out on top with players surviving. That's allowing that money to at least grow on a few of these players. So Godsent, this is the round they have to win. If they lose this, Astralis will have an opportunity to build their money and build that lead exponentially.
We're seeing 3 mollies from Astralis, down banana and down mid, to really take this control early. Again, Estetik this time up close, but Estetik's just been mollied. Oh no, he's nearly dead on banana. He just about gets away with his life, but the aim for Astralis there was to leave him solo B. That's no longer an option.
Yeah, that's fantastic from Godsent, being able to reclaim banana control. We know Astralis were the pioneers of how you take banana control. They set the meta. Everyone followed what Astralis was doing in terms of taking that banana control. And Godsent have just forced them back towards top banana. This is fantastic stuff. But Sticko takes it into the head. Device throwing the HE at him. But it's Dupreeh that'll end up taking the kill. A man advantage found by Astralis. And this A bomb site is looking quite strong now that they have full apartments control. Dupreeh's going to go on a bit of a walk. And if I'm coming into this A bomb site, I'm scared. Look at Dupreeh. He's that boiler. He's got to find one. That's the bomb. The second kill as well. Dupreeh has shut this round down. And Madden is left alone in a 1v4 that he just cannot win.
Oh, even jumping across, he takes some damage. This is so strong from Astralis right here. I'm loving the individual emphasis that Astralis is showing us as well. This was something that Glaive said in that podcast as well, Dinko, is that in this sort of online era, you kind of need to have that ability just to take aggressive plays, to take fights. And Astralis is starting to do that more and more. Dupreeh makes a risky play, but it's one that he's confident is going to work. He gets 4 kills because of it. And Dupreeh is hungry for the ace. He's not going to get it, at least not now. Madden with another parting kill on the end of the round, and he's going to get away with his life. So AK save from Madden, an 8-1 lead for Astralis, though, and they're just making all the right moves right now, individually, coming through with round wins.
Yeah, the problem there for Godsent is they're fully committing into the A bomb site. They have no apps control. No one seems to be aware of the fact that Dupreeh could have pushed up through balcony, and it's a little strange that they aren't aware of that. They lost Sticko from the balcony itself, right? And then Dupreeh just kind of takes liberties. It's very smart from him, realizing, okay, I've taken down the apps player. Sticko's been over here alone a lot, so let me just see how much control I can get here. And he just finds the whole apartment, flanks through boiler, and just catches a full execute into the A site. No one really thinking about sending another player into apps. No one thinking about watching at least boiler. And that overlook, that stone that is unturned from Godsent allows Astralis to win the round, really. It won on the board. It's a little bit of a half investment coming in from Godsent. They've got that 1 AK on Madden. He managed to save over. The rest on Tech 9s and Deagles. Astralis looking down the barrel of a 9th round, unless there's some crazy heroic play from Godsent. This gap, oh no.
Okay, mist spray from Device. Again, though, just some of these risks that Astralis take at the start of the rounds now, it's so fun to see them play this different style of play, right? Normally, you wouldn't see Astralis making that sort of play where you go for just a solo peek, but Device is happy to do so. They've adapted really well to this online era. Just over a minute left on the clock, and Godsent are taking a bit more time this time round. Previously, they were able to nade stack Magisk in pit, but this time it's Godsent taking the brunt of the nades. Dupreeh with an early kill. I don't know how much success Godsent are going to find here. Dupreeh's up against them. He is hungry for kills. Make it a third. Easy hold for Dupreeh. Easy hold for Magisk. Astralis with a 9-1 lead, Dinko. And I do feel a bit bad for Godsent because this has been a competitive game. If you've just tuned in, we've had competitive rounds. It's just Astralis are clinching every single one of them.
Yeah, the scoreline could be much closer. If you remember the start of this game, there was a lot of those rounds where Godsent just kind of got confused a little bit. A big hero plays from Essetag, a couple of moments where that B-bomb site should have fallen, but Astralis just stepping up. And it is that individual level you were talking about. The fact that Astralis are coming at them with this huge individual emphasis. And the top tier Counter-Strike has been quite scrimmy. It's been quite a battle. I think Sponge was alluding to this on Twitter recently. He's saying how he's loving this approach from some of these top teams, and it's definitely exciting. This is why it's so hard to call how things go down online, because there's so many good players that are just so much more comfortable playing online, so good at making those risky plays and having them work out. That's just something you don't really see at LAN. So this is definitely one of the things that you can take from online Counter-Strike that is a positive in a way, is that it's just mental and entertaining across the board.
Couple of nades into B for Godsent, but they don't have much utility left. A single molly, a single flash, and Sticko has been going for these plays a lot, Dinko. He's been trying to solo pressure this A site, look for picks by himself. I'm glad he's fallen back this time because he made noise there, but Madden boosted. Great shot from Madden. That's a nice opening.
That's a fantastic opening from Madden. Just towards the back lines, Estetag, who has been such an influential player on that B-bomb site, immediately picked off. Something Astralis have actually also been really solid at so far is neutralizing Sticko in those apartments. I think he has been unable to do much. Not expecting that player in Archway though. Zen, a fantastic opening kill from him, but now Magisk the time to shut them down from the pit. It's 2 picked up and Device will follow up. Crystal left alone in a 1v3. And it feels like Astralis are just eliminating the right amount of players as soon as Godsent are about to go in for their execute, and they're always going in limping. They're never going in full strength, and Astralis have done a very good job at just sort of picking players off before Godsent manage their attack.
I think the unfortunate thing for Godsent here is that they get the early kills, right? They get the 2-man lead, but they just didn't have the utility to actually set up one of their proper plays that they probably would have liked to have run. They had barely any nades left at that point. So they can't really go for a full smoke play into A. They don't have mollies for pit, where Magisk just makes all sorts of issues happen. Device is again going for that one-way smoke at top mid. Got nades down banana. Godsent don't have much to work with in this round, but Madden's got that one hero AK Dinko. I gotta say, Madden's been landing some shots so far, so there is a chance he can try and get them into this round.
Yeah, Madden has been incredible in this tournament so far. He's a player that is just so impressive for Godsent. And as the Tyke, he'll be holding on towards top banana. He's going to be forced away again. But this banana aggression has been really solid from Astralis. They have been getting down banana quite consistently at the start of the rounds, but Godsent have forced them back a few times now. And here comes the attack, the double stack in second oranges. They're not going to be expecting Essetag to be in the same position. He is going to shut them down. 3 kills picked up, finally taken away by Sticko's Deagle. And now he has an AK-47. He can win this round. If he goes around this corner quickly, he would have found Dupreeh, but too much risk involved. Sticko is going to slow it down. He walks back banana, he can get to the A site. If he goes back to B, there's 2 players in wit. So he's going to go to the A bomb site. Sticko is one of the most cerebral players playing in Counter-Strike right now, and he can win this round.
And look at what this does to Astralis. It splits them up. It gives Sticko the chance for 2 1v1s. That's why he goes back to A. He'll get that bomb down, but Magisk is close by, and Sticko seems to have spotted him. He looks very aware that angle's a possibility. He wants this 1v1 fight to begin with. It's a tight angle, but he's not going to get the headshot. And now Sticko might be in some trouble. He needs to reposition.
He does. The mid player coming through as well. Magisk doing a good job at just surviving, allowing his teammate to come forward, and then Magisk can commit to the duel, knowing that Dupreeh was in position. It's Astralis with an 11th round, and Sticko. A nice try. Another round that could have went Godsent's way if the stars aligned. And I have to say, Alex, this is heartbreaking to watch. Godsent have had so many rounds where they should have been able to compete more convincingly, but this is the setup. I think this is the play that just ends the round, ends the chances of Godsent.
I don't even think that was planned from Astralis.
No.
It looked like more like something that just happened because they weren't ready for the B push, and then they just make the most of it. And I think that's what makes Astralis such an annoying team to play against. Even when they don't maybe have the plan instantly in their head, they can quickly react to those circumstances. They can stay on top of the situation, and Crystal is going so aggressive. The flash slightly too late, though. Dupreeh gets the kill just before being blinded, and Magisk is here. Double spray down, make it a third. Magisk doing massive work from short, and Sticko, well, he finally trades, but it's another clutch. This time a 1v3, which just won't be happening.
What is that spray from Magisk? That third kill is just ridiculous. We get to see him in clear vision there, but this spray, this third kill, this is just ridiculous. Oh my god. Magisk has some of the best spray in Counter-Strike. This guy is unbelievable at getting those multi-kills in the spray down.
I thought I'd taken off my glasses for a second there, Dinko, when I saw Magisk.
It's like how Alex sees life without his glasses.
Pretty much.
It's like, hold on, they're on my head. Well, 12-1, round 14. What a dominant half it is in terms of the scoreline for Astralis. You cannot take it away from them. They have been so fantastic. Retake has been a beast on this B bomb site. He will get one kill. He goes down pretty quickly after. Crystal at least trading back. But I've loved the approach from Astralis, just kind of putting the boot to the throat of Godsent, just applying that pressure early every single round, not giving them space to work with. And that has been a problem. They've always felt like they have to make some individual plays because they've either lost too many players, they've been a man down, their attack is weakened, the utility is starved. Every one of these attacks has had some sort of problem for Godsent, but this time, they're pulling it back, but Dupreeh with an 8 kill, a follow-up headshot as well. Somehow Astralis, even when it's looking bad for them, there's a player that steps up and gets them right back into it.
Device right now with the AWP in hand for the retake, but he might not even need it. Glaive's landed the first shot, and now Sticko's trying to reposition. He's been in these clutch situations already. 1v2 for him, and he knows that Glaive is close by. He hears those steps. Glaive gonna give it away, but Sticko still needs to win the one-on-one. Device closing the distance onto the site. Sticko still just buying time, still playing safe, but Device gets the headshot. Even when Godsent look like they're gonna win a round, Astralis still win the clutch scenario. Device switches out the AWP for the AK and lands another shot.
Yeah, it's every clutch has gone Astralis' way. The mid-rounds seem to just always favor them in terms of Godsent being ahead, then someone from Astralis steps up and gets a ridiculous multi-kill or just even one kill that changes the round. Astralis should have lost a few more rounds than they have, right? That's for sure. There's been so many rounds where Godsent have been so close to finally doing something. And every clutch goes Astralis' way. The 1v1s, the 1v2s, the mid-rounds. It's all just heartbreaking to watch for Godsent. We talked about how good their T-sides are. And Alex, the best case scenario is that they find 2 rounds at the half.
Yeah, that is such a shame for Godsent. Ooh, Device landing the shot down mid. Madden down to 19 health. This time it's Zen pressuring the apartments, and Dupreeh currently isn't looking this way. Dupreeh, by the way, up to 19 kills now from this first half. He has been dominant on this A side of the map. Looks like Godsent are currently more focused on the B side of things, though. Just getting that early banana control. Astralis don't want to give it up too easily, though. Magisk here this time to fight, but Dupreeh has gone down over on the A side of the map. And another pick. Crystal moving into B. This has got to be the round.
Retake holding, finally able to trade, and this looks like it's a second round. I'm going to confirm it for Godsent. Glaive's head falls off his shoulders, a dominant showing from the mighty Danes. We'll see if Godsent can bounce back into the second half. It's looking unlikely, but one can dream. Astralis massacre Godsent in the first half. It's 13-2 for Astralis. We talked about the T side of Inferno being a strength for Godsent, and they win 2 rounds. They've got to pull it back here on the CT side. This is a task many cannot complete, and Godsent have got to pull off what seems like the impossible.
No kit for Godsent either, so they've got to try and focus denying that bomb plant. And Sticko nearly getting caught at top mid there. I'm glad he fell back to safety, back to the A bomb site. The issue for Godsent right now is that they have a 3-man stack towards B. Only 2 players on A. A long is currently open, and Astralis are about to push this site.
They come swinging into the A-bomb site with Force off the top of the balcony. Sen looking for the lineup. He's found 2, nearly a 3rd kill, but it's Astralis equally trading out the site. Now Violet, Crystal, and Madden are looking for the retake. No, none of them have a kit, so I'm gonna have to be quite quick in terms of finding these headshots. And Cliff down the pit, they try to move forward over the top of the site. It's Magisk with the first headshot, going through the smoke. Oh no, Godsent, they tried to be quick. They tried to be shrewd with that smoke, but all ends up in is a 14th round for Astralis and a clean 3v3 going their way.
Yeah, Godsent realized they had to do something there because they didn't have that kit. So I don't mind the decision to put that smoke down and just try and get close onto the site. Clearly, Astralis 1 step ahead of it, though. And into round 17, obviously Godsent are just going to force up. Astralis only have the 1 AK, though, so maybe if Godsent lands some shots early, they can try and do something here. Plenty of nades on Banana, but Madden's ready for it. Device goes in first. He falls. Madden can even get back to safety. Blinded, but he will be out of there.
A good start for Madden into what feels like a must-win round for Godsent. You know, if they want to win in regulation, they've got to win this round and then the rest. So, first step in the right direction. And Gliv walking back up Banana. Looks like Godsent want to go with some re-aggression. The flashbang was available. Madden taking his own teammate away. He undoes his own hard work. And Crystal, the victim of the deagle.
Now Astralis just go back to A. Couple of smokes lined up. Sticko's got one in reply, though. They're pushing him already. He's not ready for the pace of the SMGs. Farlig's still on the site itself, but S-Attack just jumps onto his position. Those SMGs having a fun time right now for Astralis. Only the 2 CTs remaining for Godsent, and this retake is almost impossible.
Well, Astralis just holding, not giving any opportunity away to Godsent. They want to take these rounds over. They want to win Inferno 16-2. They want to be able to take this as cleanly and as quickly as possible to stamp out any potential momentum, confidence, or any sort of hope for Godsent going into the next map. And as attack with the kill on the Madden, rounding out this round with the time ticking by. Sen will catch UMP. He'll pick that up when fleeing the scene. But it's 15-2 for Astralis, and the money not on the line here for Godsent. They have nothing to play with, really. It's going to be a couple of Deagles. It's going to be SMGs. And Astralis should be taking this win.
Loving this crowd, Dinko.
They're hyped. Even though it's 15-2, they're still hyped. Great job done by DreamHack. I love the virtual arena. It looks so awesome. I loved the tweet as well from Astralis. And their team looked like they were on the Jedi Council. I love it.
Who would be each like Star Wars character from Astralis? I reckon Dupreeh would be like Chewbacca, maybe. Like he's been a bit of a beast in this game, and everyone loves him. That fits well.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really remember Star Wars characters' names. I'll be honest, Alex. I haven't watched it in a very long time.
Okay. You haven't even seen the new ones?
I have, but I don't really enjoy them. I don't think they're that great.
The new ones aren't great. I'll give you that.
Yeah. Well,
it's not great right now for Godsent either, dude.
Yeah. Not looking good at all. Crystal about to peek around the corner. Just dropped down to 72. Astralis are taking their time. No one yet falling on the server, and we just go under a minute on that clock. Astralis turning their attentions away from B, and they'll send a couple players up middle. Currently 3 players from Godsent on this A-bomb site, so this is the best chance for them to win the round and stay alive. If Astralis are to come into this one, a 3-stack at short. Triangle of death, perhaps, if they could get a couple of shots going their way. And Sanitary Grenade will force the Astralis back for a little bit longer as Crystal nearly falls in this B bomb site. Both players on the B defense are so low on HP. 12 on Crystal, 10 for Madden. And another player's just rotated off, but now with that utility coming in from Astralis, he'll drop back into the A site. But this has just weakened the defense even further. 20 seconds for Astralis. They're going to go back to B. They should be winning these duels as the Molly players are very low, but that Molotov is going to delay. They have to run onto the site. Astralis, they've let the time run down so low. They have to get on this bomb very quickly, almost immediately, as soon as they arrive to the bomb site, and Madden's won the round. Astralis, what are you doing? They let the time run down until there's none left. No margin for error, and Godsent needed to do nothing.
That's all Godsent that round. They kept their utility for so long. Astralis wanted to go A, but Molly's kept arriving at top mid. They had to go B, and that kill from Madden shows me his experience has really leveled up. He focuses the bomb planter. He gets the one kill they need to win the round. Look, it's still not great for Godsent, Dinko. They still only have one M4 in this round, unfortunately. But hey, it's another round win. Something to celebrate if you're a Godsent fan. And after that last round took so long for Astralis, this time round, they're going to see if they can get some early kills, and Dupreeh will deliver. S-tag with another one. This might be over. Dinko right here.
Yeah, I think Astralis kind of pissed off a little bit. No, just ramp it up in this last round. Okay, no more tentative approaches. This should break their backs here. We'll give them a little bit of hope in the last round, and we'll give them a third round. That's about it. Madden, last alive. He goes down as well, and Astralis will pick up the first map 16-3. What a dominant performance coming into Inferno. And the worst part about it all is this was the map pick of Godsent. They scrambled together 3 rounds.
Yeah, and for anyone who didn't watch the whole game, we do want to praise Godsent for making a lot of those rounds close. But against Astralis, this is just going to happen to you sometimes, right? It's a whole different level of competition. They just couldn't clinch any of those rounds, right? They couldn't close any of those close rounds that might have put them in a position to try and break Astralis' bank. That just never happened for them. It's just one of those games for Godsent, man. But they've got Nuke up next, which is a map we know they like.
Well, they know they can compete on Nuke. That's at least a map Godsent can be comfortable on, but we sung their praises on the T side of Inferno, and it did not deliver. It's time to meet the final boss. It's Nuke, and it's Astralis versus Godsent after the break.